The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com. Welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
And yes, we played that for obvious reasons. The last preseason game is underway at Soldier Field in Chicago as the Bears take on the Cleveland Browns. And Mitchell Trubisky is going to start, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. That would not be good. So hopefully it all works out okay. I mean, I don't really know what we're expecting to see here, because there's not really any starters playing. So it'll be interesting to see. The game just started and the Browns have the ball. That's all.
Yeah,
we know.
well, Trubisky's guy Tanner Gentry is going to be playing tonight, so I don't see how Gentry won't make the team. He's had a phenomenal training camp, and he seems to have great chemistry with Trubisky, and that's what he needs,
Right.
I don't think they really care if he doesn't. It really shouldn't matter if he doesn't have as much chemistry with Glennon. It matters if he has it with Trubisky, and he's made some nice catches. Beautiful grab on that 45-yard touchdown pass against the Tennessee Titans this weekend.
Yeah, he did. I don't know if him and Victor Cruz are going to be fighting for a spot, but that's what I heard.
See, that's the thing. I don't, especially now that Meredith is out, I don't see how Cruz doesn't make the team. He's a veteran receiver that you need.
Yeah, he's been not so great, and he's dropped a couple passes that he definitely should have made.
That is true. Other than that touchdown he caught, he hasn't done much.
But I think when you look at it, I think you're right. It's kind of like he should make the team,
right? Especially since Marcus Wheaton really hasn't been playing much since he got injured. So right now, your healthy receivers. You got Kevin White, Victor Cruz, Tanner Gentry.
It's really a veteran, a question mark, and then a bunch of guys that are like third strings. It's pretty crazy because Kevin White's the biggest question mark out there.
Right, and then you also have Kendall Wright, which I don't think he's really shown too much. To be like, oh my God, we need to get this guy on the team.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought that would have been an interesting development there, but.
Right, I thought the Wheaton signing was great. It's just unfortunate he got injured.
Yeah, he had that really good play a couple years ago when that was when he was with the Steelers, and he did like a somersault and caught it in the end zone or something.
Yep.
So that was kind of like his highlight, I guess. But of course Ben Roethlisberger's throwing to him. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game, which Glennon/Trubisky is not. So, it'll
could end up
being
good.
Yeah, you pretty much know what you're getting with Glennon, but yeah, the future is bright for Mitchell Trubisky. That's for sure.
And I know Ryan Pace said he's going to be heavily monitoring the waiver wire for wide receivers, since after this game is when teams have to cut the roster from 90 to 53. Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of guys going, so it'll be interesting to see. I don't really know. It's tough to see like who's going to perform and be a star on this team. You hope on the other side of things that Kyle Long ends up being good, because last year wasn't so great. He has had a lot of injuries and surgeries and all of that. So hopefully he'll be ready to go, because I know he hasn't been 100%. So we'll have to see what they do with Kyle Long, because he's a Pro Bowler and he's one of the best in the game at his position when healthy.
Yeah, he absolutely is. The thing is, the offensive line, the Bears never had an offensive line, this good back when they were, competing when Cutler was there. I know they've had, the Josh Sitton signing was great. You have Kyle Long, Cody Whitehair was an All-Pro center last year. And they just re-signed Charles Leno to a 4-year deal. He's only 25, so ideally there's room to grow. for him to try to become a good, that guy on the blind spot for Trubisky in the future. Except like when the Bears were they were good and they were competing for the playoffs, they never had an offensive line like this for Cutler.
Right. I know. I mean, he would always get sacked, and he'd always be running away and trying to make the clean throw, and then he threw a lot of interceptions.
Right. The line kind of got better as the Bears were getting worse. So, I mean, and then you have Jordan Howard in the run game, and Bobby Massey, the right tackle, is one of the better run-blocking tackles. He's not very good in the pass game, except he can open up holes in the run game.
Right.
And, and then obviously, the wide receiver core is a big question mark, and you really have to hope Kevin White can finally put it together this season, because this seems like it's kind of the make-or-break year for him.
I think it definitely is. And, when you look at the running side of things, I mean, Jordan Howard, we know, had a really good year last year, and I mean, he was doing everything good. So hopefully, of course, he was from Indiana, so hopefully he can continue to have a really good season. Because if he doesn't, then your running game's kind of screwed, because Jeremy Langford's unreliable. So.
Well, that affects your whole offense, because I feel like this is going to be a run-first offense, unless Glennon starts to show something. And if Howard can't get anything going, it's going to be a nightmare for Glennon, because he doesn't really have much to throw to anyways.
Right. So that'll really be interesting. I hope they can do good, and I hope some of the other guys on defense, The one thing that surprised me is the defense has been pretty decent. They preseason, but they were able to they were able to play, compete against the Broncos pretty well. They beat Arizona, and they had really good defense in that game.
He'll be playing teams like the Browns at the end of the year.
Yeah, he could be playing, Detroit, San Francisco, Philadelphia, the Browns.
If they got off to a bad start, those are the teams you want Trubisky to be facing in his first action, just to give him some experience under his belt.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and hopefully he does well. He's played pretty well so far in the preseason, so there's no reason to think that he couldn't make an easy transition to the NFL. But of course, it's going to start out with Mike Glennon. It's going to be Mike Glennon against Matt Ryan for the opening week. Gee, I wonder which team will be favored in that one. I wonder which team has the better quarterback. How about the one that should have won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, the thing is,
crazy.
The thing is, though, this is the week you want Atlanta. If you're playing them,
sure.
This is the week that you want them.
Sure, because they're going to be figuring. It's the first game, and a lot of teams start off hot.
Especially for the team that has just come off the Super Bowl loss. That first week could really set the tone for the rest of the season. Like Carolina, remember they lost on a last-second field goal?
Yeah.
And then their season just never got off the ground, and it's the type of thing that I don't think they're going to have the same problems as Carolina. They have a good defense, they have a good defensive coaching, and they have an elite offense with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, I would say I don't think the Panthers are going to have the same problems that they had last year.
No, they'll be better this year.
Yeah, of course, when you're looking at the schedule here, the Bears have pretty much all noon starts except for 1, 2, 3. One of them's a 3:30 Saturday afternoon at Detroit on December 16th. That's a little strange. And then
they have a Monday night game against the Vikings.
Yeah, they got the Monday night game October 9th.
And then their Thursday night at Green Bay. And
that's
as
usual,
Green Bay gets the home night game.
They get the home night game.
Every year, the night game between the Bears and the Packers is at Green Bay. It's been at Green Bay every year since 2010. It should alternate every year. And first of all,
I was going to say, I can't remember the last time that the Bears and Packers played a night game at Soldier Field.
It was in 2010. It was when Hester had made his first punt return touchdown in a couple of years that helped win the game.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it's the first time, or they haven't done it since 2010 at Soldier Field. It's alternate every year. And why is the Bears and Packers on a Thursday night? Why are you putting one of the best rivalries on Thursday night?
Yeah, see, that would be a good Sunday night football game, too.
That's a good Sunday or Monday night. Like, Thursday night should be like the bad matchups that nobody would care to watch anyways.
The Bears are not on Sunday night football at all, by the way, which doesn't happen too often. I thought almost every team is featured on Sunday night football.
It's just you have to be, now because of Thursday night, you have to be on primetime once.
Okay, so
before that there was no.
So the Bears are on twice in prime time.
So there was no before Thursday night there was no regulation because there just wasn't enough weeks to get everyone on.
Show the Patriots every week.
And you can only, it's a max of 5 times you can be on it. So
I actually kind of like that. I think that's a good thing because I mean other people want to see other teams play too. I mean we don't want to see.
I mean like, you know, and it also helps, you know, you can like really focus on the good matchups that you want for those night games.
Yeah.
You know, I mean the Bears and Vikings on Monday night. I mean the funny thing is it seems like I think that's the week 5 matchup. Seems like for the past 2 or 3 years it seems like the Bears have had their home game against Minnesota's week 5 on Monday night, you know, around Halloween week.
Right.
And then
they've been winning those.
And then the funny thing is, every week it seems like week 17 is at Minnesota.
Yeah, I know.
It seems like that's like that every year. It might be just a coincidence.
Yeah, and it sucks because they do this in baseball with the Yankees and Red Sox. Like the Yankees and Red Sox are playing right now, and they play through this weekend.
Oh, I'm sure that's Sunday night baseball this week.
Well, yeah, it's always Sunday night baseball. Saturday is always on Fox or Fox Sports 1. Friday and Thursday are always on MLB Network. So it's like, you know, it's like we're getting too much here. Like, let's see some other matchups. Let's see some AL wildcard matchups, not just Yankees, Red Sox. I understand the Yankees are a wildcard team, and it's a fun thing, but do we really need them on national TV every single game that they play?
I mean, it's like Cubs and Cardinals. They're always, you know... Well,
they don't get all the games on national TV.
Well, no, I mean, if it's a weekend series, they're always the Sunday night game. They're usually on Fox for the Saturday.
Yeah, but it's nothing like this, and it's kind of annoying. So I kind of like that the NFL does that, where every team gets represented, and you can only be on a certain amount of times. You know, I do like that.
I mean, this weekend you have Los Angeles, the Angels playing the Rangers. The Rangers are only 3 games behind the Angels. That's a wild card matchup that should be shown.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of stuff that should be shown that doesn't get shown.
I mean, and
Minnesota should be featured more often.
I mean, Texas is 4
TV.
games.
I've never seen them on national TV.
Texas is 4 games behind Minnesota. So I mean, that should be like a prime matchup.
Right. Even a team like Milwaukee that's still fighting isn't on national TV ever either. So. They'll get I think they got a few weeks ago. They got a Saturday Fox Sports 1 game, but it's like, you know, after that it's like, who cares?
Oh, and you want to know who else is playing this weekend?
Who?
Arizona and Colorado. The teams that'll probably be playing each other for the National League wild card.
Yeah, and no one will get to see that unless you live in Arizona or Colorado.
Yep. Sunday night baseball, the Yankees and Red Sox.
What else would it be? All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. You're listening to the Sports Renegades, SportsTownChicago.com. The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.